And now I'm going to show a few of the activities that can be performed in QGIS. I'm just going to show a few options and give you a few examples of what can be done. But the software and the geographical information system allows to do a lot more. So I would like for you to bear this in mind. I'm just going to show you a small part of what can really be done. So the first activity that we're going to do is this one, to add a vectorial layer. So we're going to use this option over here to manage the data sources. And right here we have to choose where the file is to open it. I also shared this information. You've got to have this probably in the zip file that you did before. So here we are going to add as a first layer this one, that are the limits of the municipality of Chiapas. So I'm going to come to this interface and press add or añadir in Spanish, and this would be the data. So firstly, this is the map with the polygons that represent each one of the municipalities and the limits. And this is the layer that I added in order to manage the different layers. And during the theoretical part of the module, everything that you see in this menu, the complements, and the way everything is arranged is customized. So possibly once you install the software, things are going to look a little bit different. It's just to bear this in mind. You can organize it as something similar to this. Otherwise, you can organize it as you prefer. So this is the layer once again, and I can see what are the attributes with this option. I have to click the right button, and then I'll be able to access the attributes. So this is the key of the municipality and the name of the municipality. It's very easy if you have the geometry. This ID is responsible for knowing the position of every geometry. And this is the name of the municipality. And it's the same thing as if I open here where it says open the attribute table. It's the same option. There's different ways to get to that point, but these are the different attributes that I have. And the first step that we're going to see here is how we can apply a style for this layer. So in order to apply a style, I click right once again, right click, and then I go to properties. It's the last option. We have styles here, but we can go also to properties. And you can also have access by double clicking. If I press double click, I can also have access to properties. So in properties, we're going to look for the symbology option. And in symbology, you see that you have simple filling, which is the same one that I've got in the map. And there are different options to have different levels, different colors based on of one of the columns of information, for example. And that's something that we're going to see in a few minutes. But since we're working on the limits, we're going to click in the filling and remove the filling. And we're also going to change the color of the border of the lines. Let's use blue so that it looks better. Then I press apply. And it's going to change based on the options that I chose. So now we have the map with the different limits of each one of the municipalities. One thing that we can also do is I don't know, for example, what's the name of each one of these municipalities. And the way to know this is to use this tool called Identify Objects and click. So this would be the Cintalapa municipality. And you can do the same thing with the others. Obviously, it's not the best way if I want to know the name of every municipality. So a more practical way to do this is to go to Properties once again and to choose a label, or etiqueta in Spanish. So use a simple label with the name of the municipality. And there are many different options available. I'm going to choose a few of them so that you can see how you can change everything. You can change the text, you can use bold. I can change the size of the letter. I can use a buffer if I have a overlaid layers. This can also be very useful. I can use shadows, callouts, and location also. I can change the way it looks. I can use lines. There's other options for the map. And then I press um, accept. And for every polygon, you'll be able to see the name of the municipality. One more thing that you can do for large projects is go to this option called representación, and I can change the visibility depending on the scale. So I can choose a scale. So I'm going to click here. And the labels are only going to be visible if I'm close. If I'm very far from the map, text starts to overlap the other text and looks really disorganized. It's really hard to visualize. So if you zoom in, you can see the names. So if I zoom out, the labels disappear. But when I zoom in, then I can see the labels. So there's many other options available that you can use to customize the map. Something else that was included in the presentation that we're going to see is how to add a background map from Google. So right here, you go to complements to this tab, and you can go to manage complements. So I have all the complements, but if I look for a specific complement, that's called quick map services. There are different options for the background. It's already installed. If it's not installed, you can click here so that you can install it, and then it's going to be available. And you'll be able to see it here in this web tab. And probably the first time that you're going to use it, you'll have to go to settings first and configure everything. You have to choose the one that you prefer to use. Usually there's very few options, but you can enable the different options. So I can go to Google, for example, and choose a satellite image or a hybrid image. And then you'll be able to see the map as a background. So what I'm interested in is in blue, like we defined before. And if I zoom in, we'll be able to see the labels and the names. So now this map can be used as a base to illustrate the other information that we have. But before doing this, what we're going to do is to show how to save the project. So I'm going to go to the project tab and save as. I'll just name the project. My project is called Proyecto Chiapas, and I'm going to keep this extension, the QGIS extension, and then I'll save. So the important thing to take into account is that QGIS is not going to save each one of the layers in this project. So the project has the instructions on how the layers are organized and how the layers are, what are the styles that every layer is using, and how the overlay is defined. All of this is going to be there, but the layers are not going to be saved. So the important thing is to maintain um, the way that you arrange the layers. Preferably everything should be in the same folder. So if you have the intention to share this information, this project, you have to share the project, but also the different layers that are saved there. So it's better to have everything in one folder. So be very careful with this, because if you have a saved project, but if I change the layers and the files with the layers, then you're going to run into problems. So I'm going to save. So once it's saved, the advantage is that I can eliminate everything here and I can open a project. So when I click on it, it's going to be ready as we had it the last time.